to rule under the teachings of reality of God. There was made to hide the reality of God. In order that they themselves will be worshipped. Yes, sir. I don't get angry with them the way that they rule and what they teach. How in the world can they teach and turn us away from the God of reality? If they intend to rule, they got to take us away. Because we got the reality. Right. Every time you look at a black man, you're looking at God. Right. Some of us will say, oh no, I know God and you know God. Okay, get your God out and show him to me. Right. You can't do that. You say that God is a spirit. Show him to me. Right. Yes, sir. You cannot show me your spirit, God. Then you say he's not to be seen. Well, then I don't want to see him if he don't want to see me. That's the problem. As it is written, we worship that which we know. What? You worship that which you know not. We're not going to hold your attention to this kind of subject. We got lots of work here to do. For years, I have been teaching. That's right. That God is man. For 43 years, I have been teaching that one day you will wake up to know. You wake up and agree with me. From the looks of your numbers here today, it seems that you're waking up. Yes, sir.
Now there you heard it from his mouth. But you see, when WD came in and told him that God is not man, you see they wasn't woke. When WD come in and told him that God is not man, they didn't even have sense enough to call him on his own teaching. Huh? And he said, man is not God. I don't know how you're going to, and even by your own teachings, God is man. But that's what happens when people don't listen to their own self. What I mean by that? Right, when people don't remember what they say. Didn't he say man means mind? Well, didn't the scripture say God is a spirit? Well, that means God is a mind. Well, he doesn't say God is man. The book says God is man. Since you say man means mind, well, what does man mean? What does the mind do when it get inside the body? The book says the head, I would listen good. What is the second pillar of faith? All right. We sent no messenger, but what? So was Paul wrong in the 11th chapter of Corinthians when he said, be ye followers of me? Even as I also am of Christ. Huh? I am of them who you call Christ. Huh? He's a member of them. As John Boehner is a member of what? He's a member of Congress. Is that right? Okay. He said, now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances. Huh? You can't just remember what Moses had to say. You got to remember what Jeremiah said. You got to remember what David said. Huh? Yes. Who was Moses? Who was David? Who was Jeremiah? Who was Paul? And when was he born? Like people trying to put a birthday on me. How you gonna put a birthday on me? How you gonna put a birthday on anybody? You can put a birthday on the body, but you can't put no birthday on the mind. This mind existed a long time before it got inside this body. The same was in the beginning with God. The truth takes up residence inside of the body, but the truth was the truth before it took up residence in that body. Is that right? We formed this. Now, before me, there was no God formed. Huh? Yeah. There was no one there that you could say the word is with him. Now we made a farm for ourselves. How in the world are you gonna say the head of every man is Christ and the head of Christ is God? Well, your head is on your shoulders and you are man. What is your head? Is your head man too? Or is something else? I didn't hear you. Look to me like the head is just like the rest of the body. Is that right? Okay. Well, if the head of every man is Christ and the head of Christ is God. Well, then God is man. That don't take no rocket scientist to figure that. All to do is take somebody that got sense enough to listen to what's being said. In the beginning was the Word. There again. These things saith the Amen. Let's get it. Book of Revelation, right? It says, let me see here. I want to make sure we got it here. The 14th verse of the 3rd chapter. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write this down. These things saith the Amen. What do Amen mean? So be it. The likeness of Jesus was as the likeness of Adam. God said to him, be, and he was. And they said, the natural mind and the spiritual mind said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So he said to me, be, and I am. Be not afraid. Be not thou rebellious. Huh? Yeah. He said, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness. The one who believes in the whole report. The one who trusts what the report said. Huh? And thumb his nose at the devil and say, get out there in the woods and hide and get your high-powered rifle just in case you done forgot what to do. Wait until I step out there and I'll never hear it coming. How come he don't do that? He did it to Medgar Evers. He didn't even get no way off nowhere. He just waited across the street. I have faith in what this word says. Ain't no weapon formed against you gonna prosper, son of man. Tell them to go pick it up and shoot it at you. And when you go out there and see the buzzards circling out there, and so I wonder what's done died out there. Yeah, man found dead in the apparent suicide. When did he do it? He did it when he planned to do it to God's representative. So he said, hey. Well, I'm telling you, these children is something. It said the faithful and true witness. And listen at this part real good. The beginning of the creation of God. Huh? Where you was thinking. That's something else WD taught him on. That man, he said, the crown of creation. Huh? Yeah, the messenger said, we have the root of the creation. You got to know what parts of the root is. Once you know what parts each part is of a root, you know the crown is the part that is the beginning of the new thing that's coming up. You see. So I'm the crown of the Word of God, the Word made into flesh. And just like the reason it says that the government shall be upon his shoulder is because you'll notice when you ever uproot a tree, you'll see at the bottom of that tree where all the roots are made into one, and that whole tree been sitting up on that one, on that thing, you see. So everything of the new government is sitting on my shoulder. And just like on that root, it got many, on that crown, it's got many tops coming into it, many crowns in it, you see. And on his head was many crowns, you see. And then the creation begins to grow up out of that crown there. And so it says, and to the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write this: these things saith Amen, and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. Now that you know it was written down, he said it was written, right? What do you think of is written at? Where's it written at? Written in the book, huh? So you wouldn't have known it was in there until somebody come and open the book and teach you the understanding of it. So as I began teaching you the understanding of it, have you noticed that when I'm talking to you, that you start having thoughts that you never had before? That's the creation of God going on. I'm the beginning of that. Do you understand? All right. And Allah said, son of man, take the book and eat it. And if he said fill your bowels with it, that means you digest it. You can digest it. When your food go in your stomach, if you cannot digest it, they get what is called indigestion. When you get too much of that, they're going to have to be feeding you through a tube after a while, or feeding you intravenously after a while. Because just because you swallowed it don't mean you was able to digest it. Huh? You swallowed a lot of things that white people told you that you could not give no proof of. And I know it's the truth, and you know it's the truth. That's why when I challenged you on the moon being a sphere, you noticed he didn't say nothing, you couldn't either. And he dared to stand up there talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was lying when he told him the moon didn't come of itself. We put it out there. One of our gods put it out there when he was trying to destroy us all. Yes, sir. The end of all flesh hath come before me. That is what it said, wasn't it? So I know you will agree that he was trying to destroy them all. Is that right? And then somebody found grace. Huh? Yeah. What was his name? And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Now, let's get back here to this. Any of you who listening to me I even had the atheist listening, and he said he had some things he got to think about. Huh? That's because he been listening to all these people. He was surprised when I told him, no, I don't believe in that God either. That surprised him. He thought I was coming up here with some stuff the world been teaching. Them people don't know what they worship. They worship themselves. That's what they worship. You see. And I worship the truth. And the only ones who brought the truth is, you call them messengers and prophets. Every word they brought was the truth. And they was not of this world. This world is not of truth. That's why you got so much hateful stuff going on, because you're not of the truth. If you was of the truth, you would have peace. The truth would settle all your differences, not bombs and bullets. But since you're not of truth, because there ain't no truth in you. I'm sorry. That's what Jesus said. He said, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. Huh? For he's a liar. He ain't no father of truth. He's the father of lying. Is that right? He the father of it. Is that? There ain't no truth in him. Huh? If ain't no truth in you, well then, now you see why they don't like Jesus. Huh? He told them, you of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. That's why you want to kill me, because that's all your daddy would know to do when he disagree with somebody. He ain't got no truth, so he sure can't argue. So his answer is, blow the so-and-so's brains out. Is that right? Tell him to go blow the Son of Man's brains out. Tell him that's what you do. Because some of you probably done already, I done had one uncle told me that in so many words that everybody was on a wonder of when they was going to come get him. Is that right? You remember that? Yeah. That's why they were staying away from me. They didn't want him to come get them too. I'm not, as the messenger said, I'm not afraid he's going to get me for what I said about him in here today. He's afraid I may come out of here and get him. No. I remember he said the devil used to come asking some of the followers, was he mad at us? And the messenger said, so what if I am mad at you? What are you going to do about it? So, it's plenty of them out there, man. They'd like to kill me. They could taste it. But, in the book, it tells you that I'm the beginning of God's creation. And look at what John, the first chapter, said. Most people don't understand what that's really saying. If I'm the beginning of the creation of God, then the messenger wasn't lying when he said the black man is God. Who begins God's creation? All right. Well, what? It's right there. It says, in the beginning was the Word. Son of man, take the book and do what? Now, where is it at? once you eat it, where is it at? It's in you. In the beginning of the creation of God was the Word. Now, the Word was what? The Word was with who? Ah, yes, sir. And the black man's God is truth. Huh? And I ate it, making me truth for us all, because I was what I ate. Well, that's pretty plain now. Who is the original man? The earth. How do you get cream to separate from milk? And when people get shook up, they get angry, don't they? The nations were angry. Why are they angry? They're just dissatisfied with all of this, all of their leaders and all of their rulers and stuff. And now who talking to the whole world on the internet? The cream of the planet Earth. You have to understand something. Even though it's one mouth, it's the words of many. All of them that was just like the cream is lost inside of that milk. But it's a way to get it to come out of there. And if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men. Why? Set your face for religion being upright, the nature made by Allah in which He has created men. I will draw all men unto me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's written. So now the words of them is with me. Whether I say words or word. If I say words, I mean they're sentences and phrases. If I say the word of them is with me, that's just another way of saying the truth that they brought is with me. Now, how you gonna argue with a man that know as much as I know? I'm not gonna even waste time trying to argue, even attempting to go back and forth with you. Because it's be the same as me trying to go back and forth with one of them babies out there. I'm at a point now where everything is coming to me just faster and faster and faster. And as I told you, you don't have no lot of time to make up your mind what side of the fence you're gonna be on. And at the proper hour, there won't be no bargaining. There won't be no give me another chance. Whatever you are, this ain't me just saying this. Him that is unjust, stay that way. Him that's filthy, all your religions is as filthy rags. You want to stay filthy? You don't want to keep that? Well, you stay that way. Let me see, what did we reveal to Noah? Ain't none of your people gonna believe save him who already believed. Him that's unjust, he gonna stay that way. Him that's filthy, he gonna stay that way. Him that's righteous, he's not being a hypocrite about it. That's really what he want to be. He gonna be that way. Him that's holy, you ain't finna change, Noah. You're gonna be that way. Everything and everybody. No more tests from God's man, and no more tests for his people. Everybody done the test is over. Then comes the reward, which is the grades. F don't just mean fail. F also means fire. Yeah, that's it. So we hear this man out of his own mouth said, God, man means mind. Didn't he say that? Then why he say God is not man? I don't know of no other God of the body but the mind. Let this mind, what? That was also in what? For if the mind of Christ ain't in you, then how is Christ your head? You were told when it says the head of every man is Christ. Well, then anyone that does not have the head or the mind of Christ, you're not man. They had the mark of the beast in their forehead. What they call a man that you remember in the movie little clip I showed you of that movie clip I showed y'all from Robert Redford in The Sting. What did they call the man that they was gonna put the sting on? They had the mark of the beast in their forehead. The objective. The object that they were going after. Huh? The object that they were seeking. You were told to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. But you went after the mark of the beast. The bottom line. Huh? You ain't never thought about it. In business, they tell you the truth. If you're in the black, you're doing fine. If you're in the red, you ain't doing so well. You shedding man's blood? You shedding the blood of your brother? You in the red. Yeah. Everywhere he go as a ruler. I remember Minister Farrakhan taught on that once, and he was right. They roll out the red carpet. Why? Because everywhere he go as a ruler, he shed man's blood, and he walks over dead bodies and the blood of people that he done shed to take their property. Yeah. That's the truth. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. Is that what David said? Wilt thou place a mind inside of an earthen vessel that will make mischief and shed blood? Yeah. Making mischief, making trouble. Huh? Go ahead and put one against the other, and then after you get them fighting with each other, tell them let you mediate. Solved it. Got you and me fighting each other, and we bring our case to him. And he mediates it for us, and they get you an attorney and get you one, and let's hash it out. Yeah, got him a whole system set up to keep chain reactions of hatred and distrust going. Can't hardly find nobody in this country that's at peace with his neighbor, even when they be faking peace, smiling faces. Huh? And they walk away from each other talking about, that so and so get on my last nerve. Is that what they say? Yeah. Yes, I know you. I grew up with you. I done watched it, heard it, all that. You know, as I remember Brother Donald gave me this little piece of wisdom I shared with you. I remember when he said, "Look, brother, if you think they mean it when they grinning and going on with you," he's talking about mostly white folks, but I took it to the next and applied it to everyone. The truth it's not the truth if it's not universal. If what you have of truth or claim to have of truth cannot be found in the universal order of things, you don't have the truth. So he say, he be laughing and talking with you. He said, and then tell you what you do. Take about 5 steps and then look back at them. And that laugh and smile will be gone. And he say, don't no smile go away that quick. And I say, that's sure the truth. And so I do that quite often, you know. I don't mind telling them. People forget stuff like that. Don't they? So, there's plenty of ways that you can see the truth. You don't have to say everything you see. Just be aware. When you are aware of a trap or a trick or whatever, then it's no longer a trick to you. You don't have to say everything you see. You don't have to say everything you hear. Fools do that. They utter everything that's on their mind. That's why I tell you, don't be, you don't have to tell, don't be telling your troubles to people. Because whatever you confide in them, they're going to go and tell that to people. I'll fix that so and so. That's what they do. You see, it's very few people that you can confide something in and they will still keep that confidence even when they're angry with you. But you have to have integrity for that. That's not something that is a divine attribute. So you notice the scriptures say you confess your faults to the Lord and he is faithful and just to forgive. And that you confess to the wrong people, they won't never forgive you because it ain't in them. And you never should have confessed to them in the first place. What can they do for you? I mean, if I'm gonna tell somebody about what's paining me, it's gonna be a doctor. I'm not going to go and just share all of my health issues with people that might have helped create them. That don't make no sense. So so you see, the book teach you that God is man. It just says it over and over. You say, no, God ain't man. God is the supreme being. Oh? What other beings do you know of other than man? What was the prophets lying to you? They brought you the truth. Jesus said, I and my Father are what? One. The natural and the spiritual have to be one. Otherwise, the spiritual won't dwell there. You ever seen two people that couldn't? How in the world, if you don't hurry up and come to some kind of agreement, you can't stay together. You got to come to some kind of agreement. When you recognize that one is better guided, that's what keeps you with me. You don't like everything that I do, but you agree that I know more than you. That's why you following me. If I didn't know no more than you, you talk to me and act with me like you act with anybody else that you don't think know no more than you. Is that right? I know the truth. And if you was not, I'm telling you something. In order to recognize wisdom, you have to have a little yourself. It's done. You can't, a fool can't follow a wise man, because a fool loves foolishness. He might hang around, but he ain't gonna follow, because he's a fool and he loves foolishness. To follow means to do something, to obey. You understand? Okay. So fools delight in foolishness, and he delight in it so much till he earns the title of fool. You understand? You don't get that title no more than you get any other title without some long practice. Right? Yeah, you got to practice it for a while. Till pretty soon you're a bona fide fool. Right? Yeah. So, we have fun a little bit with it, but it's the truth. Man is a creature of habits. As we practice things, those things are creating us. It's creating our mind, creating the mind that's in us. As we practice those things, we are learning them as we practice it. Okay. Long as we understand. Okay. Now, here these people talk about the Muslim. And let's see here. Let's go back to this.
Cosby said we should be more like Muslims. You mean honor killings, beheadings, suicide bombings? What do you mean, sir? Joining me now, former Florida Congressman and director of NextGeneration.tv, Fox News contributor, Colonel Alan West. Sir, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me on, Shawnee. How are you?
I was surprised by his comments. Tell me why you felt the need to respond.
Well, I think it's very important because we cannot allow people that are influential in our country, especially in the entertainment industry, to suffer.
Now, before I let him, now this was put together by someone who's trying to defend against what he's saying about honor killings and that kind of thing. But they've been practicing that over there and calling themselves Muslim. Now they'll come out and say there's no such thing as honor killings in that. That's not Islam. Well, we wasn't doing none of that, and they said we wasn't Muslims. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't teaching us to do any of those things. And somehow, even though we said there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his true and divine servant and last apostle, he's no messenger. That's what they said. They told us that he wasn't no messenger. And I'm still waiting on him to tell me what he lied about. That dragon that was waiting to devour the child. You notice, have they ever accused me of lying when I said that the red dragon was talking about Orthodox Islam? Have any of them offered to come in and have that discussion with me? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad offered them people $10,000 and his life if they could come. He said, matter of fact, he told me he would pay them $20,000 an hour if they'd get over to that microphone and try to argue with him. Huh? He knew they wouldn't do it. Bring any of your scholars and the people that you claim as so scholarly and knowledgeable of religion. Bring them into this forum with me and let me examine them. I notice you don't invite me into no forum with you to examine me. Why not? Neubauer thought he could do it. And what happened? When he came back after the second round, he had lost all his composure, hadn't he? I'm back in there whooping and hollering and going, what? He doesn't run out there and drink. He went out there and his boys told him, man, you lose it. Well, it don't make no difference how you try to hog the microphone or whatever. Look, many people think that haven't you noticed I don't wear no watch? I remember Malcolm said that he don't trust no man that don't wear a watch. That's his problem. Are you aware that the only man who wears watches is white people? They invented that kind of thing. He was put on a certain time. He got to be aware of time. I don't have to be aware of no time. Ain't no time on me. And yet, I know what time it is, even without looking at a watch. Most of the time, I know what time it is. So, he should have learned to trust the messengers of God. He trusted the messengers of Satan. And they led him right into a room where it was full of undercover police and everything else, and then murdered him right there in front of his wife and children and put it on the Muslim. It was armed officers in there. Why did they let that happen? So that they could say Elijah Muhammad and his followers murdered Malcolm. Well, if Elijah Muhammad and his followers murdered Malcolm, how come they didn't go in with Elijah Muhammad? If Dr. Bill Cosby raped all them women, how come they didn't arrest him? I mean, I can understand them saying they was afraid to go themselves, but you don't have to go. The district attorney is the one that files the charges. Did they say that the district attorney refused? The district attorney and all of them said they didn't have no evidence. What does that tell you? Was you scared to go to the doctor? You scared to go to a doctor and let the doctor tell you what kind of crazy drug this man gave me? Remember what Whoopi asked her? Same thing I was thinking. What's the problem with going to the doctor, getting yourself checked so you can know what drug was in you? You don't know what he done gave you, according to you. You didn't want to know? Huh? All this to defame that man's character so that you wouldn't listen to him, because he ain't sending you to white folks. He's sending you to the Muslims and telling you, you need to, if you want to copy somebody, you need to copy them Muslims. Huh? And he done got old enough to not really care who don't like it. The most of his life behind him, that's what he's thinking. What did Clint Eastwood say when he said if they was stupid enough to invite me? Well, what can I say? How in the world are they gonna look at that man and be around him all them years and didn't know that he wasn't a bigot? And didn't know enough about him to know that he's not gonna be nobody's puppet. Huh? I mean, it didn't take no rocket scientist to put together what he did. I saw it right away. The invisible president, Michael Moore had already told you that they called him, they're gonna make him the invisible president. And then he get up there and said, tell Romney to go do what to himself? I mean, really? That was Clint Eastwood talking. And they just are laughing and kick it in. It's just that dense. I told you, you got to be pretty dumb to think that your skin makes you righteous or evil. You about the dumbest thing. Do yellow a piece of fruit make it a banana? That's rich, ain't it? I mean, man, you're pretty stupid. He's standing up there insulting them, and they ain't even had sense enough to know that they was being insulted. But a few of them, the crooks. Oh, what's his name? That boy, Paul Ryan. He knew. That's why he wasn't laughing. But the rest of them were laughing and kicking in. They didn't realize Clint Eastwood is not going to help you disrespect the president of the United States. Especially with, you know, what he done saw. I mean, what? You done made it look like all the Republicans is racist, man. There's lots of us here, but we don't go around hot dogging it to people. Hot dogging it. Sticking it to people because we in a position to do so. Just if we can't do that to people, we ain't happy. Like old dog in heat. This man here, you know, this brother here that they done went out, grabbed in there, Sean Hannity welcoming him back. Just listen to it.
Fox News contributor Colonel Alan West. Sir, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me on, Shawnee. How are you?
I was surprised by his comments. Tell me why you felt the need to respond.
Well, I think it's very important because we cannot allow people that are influential in our country, especially in the entertainment industry, to start putting out false information. I give you a great example today, as reported from Reuters and the Washington Times. Syrian Islamists kidnapped, tortured, and then executed a 15-year-old young Syrian boy in front of his mother and father just because he, quote unquote, disrespected Muhammad by saying.
Who's not misinformation? He said he can't allow entertainers and people of influence. He said he can't put out, he said that he can't let entertainers and people of influence put out misinformation. What are they doing right there? How come he ain't saying the word black Muslims? They used to say the black Muslims this, the black Muslims that, right? How come they ain't saying the black Muslims now? Because everybody know the black Muslims ain't doing that stuff. The black Muslims never did do that stuff. Huh? So now we are Muslims, right? No, you better put black Muslim in front of ours again. All right? Huh? I mean, they started it. Why come we can't be black Muslims no more? Because then people would be saying, well, them over here, the black Muslims don't do that. Right? But here he is. They trot him out there and ask him what's his problem. Did he find him or they found him? They went and dug him up. Well, just listen.
And we know that if you choose not to be a believer, that's apostasy.
أجرت العربية مقابلة خاصة مع والدي الطفل الحلبي الذي لقي حتفه على يد متطرفين في مدينة حلب. الوالدان طالبا الجيش الحر بمحاسبة المتطرفين وأكدا أن طفلهما لم يتعدى عمره.
They saying that these people was extreme and all of that. Why ain't they been arrested and charged with murder? Because if they start trying to arrest people who go and murder people in the name of Islam, they put their own lives in jeopardy. Huh? I mean, you know, I mean, that is what it appears. If it ain't so, I welcome any of them to come in and straighten out what we've been being shown on the internet and stuff about ISIL and some of the other groups, radical groups and whatnot, that think that anybody who disagree with you should be killed. I don't think that anybody that disagree with me should be killed. I think that we need to, if you disagree, we need to sit down and talk and show me why you disagree. Why should I join with somebody who thinks that they need to cram Islam down my throat? While claiming to believe in the Holy Quran, which says that there's no compulsion in religion. You are not to try to compel people. It says, wilt thou force people till they are believers? If Allah had desired, he could have gave every soul its guidance. How you know that's true? I say, how do you know that that's true? It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to be able to prove it. All of the animals and insects in the creation got their guidance imprinted on them. That's right, son. He could have did the same with us. But then we wouldn't be his temple. This temple was made for submission with a will that we could choose to accept or not. Huh? Knowing his creation, there are some in us that would choose evil over good. And there are some in us that would never choose evil over good. And our Lord desires to know those who would choose good over evil and get rid of, just as much as GM makes cars, road tests them, puts them through certain trials and things to weed out the ones that they intend to continue and the ones that they intend to discontinue. Do you understand? When the final analysis comes down, only you gonna determine whether you continue or be discontinued. That's gonna be your choice. We put out to man the two conspicuous ways. Whither then are you going? Ain't nobody's choice but yours that's gonna wind you up in heaven or wind you up into hell. It's gonna be your choice. And when it's all said and done, you remember Jesus said, I don't know, make two yourselves friends of what? Of the mammon of unrighteousness. That when you fail to bring peace to yourself, when you fail to get the honor and you fail to stay in good health, when you fail, then they may receive you into higher habitation, way of life. Yeah. But what if in failure, people get satisfied? Then they will say, oh, would that I had not taken such a one for a friend. Make two yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. But they will say, oh, would that I had not taken such a one for a friend. Yeah. I don't want no way of life that's make me catch hell. Chasing stuff that even after you get it, you find out it ain't what it was. It's not what you thought it was. I want peace, which means I better listen to the author of peace and seek his kingdom first. Then them things, that's secondary. Yeah. Never put the cart before the horse. Yeah. You know, what is the point of having a cart if you ain't got nothing to pull it? And what is the point of having stuff if you ain't got no mind of how to properly deal with it? Get some knowledge in your head. Not just any knowledge. That's what this world tell you. Get an education. You got to get the education and then everything is fine. Yeah, that's partly true. But they don't tell you what kind of education. Now you got all these degrees and you still in hell. Because you didn't get the education that you really needed, which was the education that comes from God only. The education in righteousness and decency. Look how these people, they claim that they would they say they're Christian. Are they doing Bill Cosby like they'd like to be done? Are they doing black people in general? They doing our children like they would like their children to be done? Huh? Yeah. They shoot our unarmed children down and somehow, I mean, come out there and make a joke. Really? And they don't mean it as a joke, but in their mind, they laughing. Did you see how big he was? Did you look at how big he was and compared to that officer? So now you get shot down for being too big. Why didn't the officer call for backup? Huh? Why they ain't got no taser? They could have did other things besides killing poor boy. And then his mother and them, they got to be complicit in that too. You can't blame it all on the white man. You ain't taught your son how to deal with that stuff. Out there mouthing off at people that's got authority in this land. What are you mouthing off at him for? Agree with him quickly. When you meet the adversary in the way of his business, agree with him quickly, lest he call the officer, and the officer deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the prison. And I say to you that you won't get out of there until you have paid the uttermost for a thing. Is that what the book said? Well, who is the adversary? Your adversary, the devil, walketh to and fro in the earth as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. You ever listen to it? You don't pay no attention to the scripture, so you don't know when it's jumping off the page at you. When they're on their way looking for somebody, what you hear going off and what it sound like. Something wild. Get out the way, I'm coming through. Headed for what? Looking for whom he may devour. Yeah. Screaming through the community. Yeah. They ain't gonna say what they listening. You know they listening. How come ain't none of them saying now? Show where I done lied on you. And you go and get this man come out here and just listen. He's saying that he said many people borrow goods without paying money. My son want to buy goods. And he goes on to say, one guy always borrowed goods from my son. So my son refused to lend the guy this time. And my son said, even if Muhammad came here, I will not lend him any money. I need my money. I don't have money to work.
بقول له اذا بيجي محمد ما وعدونا يا حبايبي اللي حاطوني حاجه اعرفه ما انا عارف اشتغل فيه شنو هو بيجي
heard him. They said to my son, why did you disbelieve? And my son said, I didn't disbelieve. I said, even if Muhammad came, I would not lend him any money. I don't disbelieve. They said, come with us in the car. And then they took him. Just for saying, when he told this boy that he wasn't going to lend him no money, and he said, and even if Muhammad came to get some money from me, if he done what you did, I wouldn't give it. Huh? What? And you kill a man for that? Depart from me, you bloody man. Huh? They swift in running to mischief and to shed innocent blood. Huh? Yeah. That's the kind of world that they want to invite you to. They want to invite you to stop accepting what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me to go and be part of that. Now you talk about, I don't know who the biggest fool is, the fool or the fool who follow him. Yeah, it's the fool who follow him. Their answer to the world problems is kill everybody that disagree with you. Huh? Ain't you know, they talk about this white man here in America. But I bet they glad he don't think like that no more. With all these nuclear weapons and stuff he got. Huh? One bomb will do it. Is that right? If he thought like them. But God won't let you do that. No, sir. And all of them that's pulling that, he just manifesting who the true Muslims are. The black Muslims always was the true Muslims. What you looking at there is Antichrist. And see, now they gonna tell on each other. Listen to what he said, that what happened when a man, Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad owed a man, and the man demanded his money. And some of his disciples got angry. And the prophet told him to leave that man alone and pay him his money. Listen. He said, my son said, I didn't disbelieve. My Allah forgive me. I didn't disbelieve. I just said if Muhammad came, I will not lend him. I didn't disbelieve. They said, come with us in the car. Then they took him. Now it goes on to say, this act is against Islam. This is why the parents of the boy seeked help from the Islamic Free Syrian Army, the Monotheism's brigade. In a hadith, volume 3, book 41, number 575, narrated Abu Hurairah, demanded his debts from Allah's apostle in such a rude manner that the companions of the Prophet intended to harm him. But the Prophet said, leave him no doubt, for he, the creditor. And the Prophet said, leave him no doubt, for he, the creditor, has the right to demand it harshly. Buy a camel and give it to him. They said, the camel that is available is older than the camel he demands. The Prophet said, buy it and give it to him. For the best among you are those who repay their debts handsomely. You know what the Bible says? It's not the wicked man who seeks you to repay his honest debt that you owe him. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, unless thou keep on demanding it. That's what the book says. Huh? But the righteous showeth mercy and give it. Listen. It's still showing you this little saying there. But even that it leaves a lot to be desired the way they got it there. I don't know if they printed it right or published it right. But I know the Prophet, like all messengers of God, they teach you to pay your debt.
When we talk about black Muslims, let's also remember.
Why they cut out the part where he was saying about black Muslims, but he went from Muslims to suggesting now that when you talk about black Muslims, then he trying to suggest that it was all us. You understand? Well, let's listen to him. This is something that another person posted on there. I'm gonna see if later, and y'all can help me find where Sean Hannity interviewed him and see exactly what he had to say about us. You understand? And for you to let anyone, that's another reason why I have such support and respect for Dr. Cosby, is that he didn't just get up there and try to run us down simply because white folks don't like us. And if he ever hears this, what I'm saying now, I hope he now this reinforces that he was right about us. We're not a people who cower down because somebody got the advantage over us and try to frighten us with their guns or whatever else. If right is on your side, you have nothing to be afraid of. Let those be afraid who would try to come against you and they know right is not on their side. Let them be afraid. And let them be warned that the day to put that kind of stuff over has come and passed. It has gone. You in the day of the Lord now. And you're going to be paid for it. Swiftly. You ain't going to have to wait long. It's coming on you now. So, You know, they you know, most of them, they don't want to even have a conversation with me from the Orthodox world. Yes. Okay, let's see here. Y'all give me a minute and I'll pull up the video and go and let you hear exactly what was said. Because I want to hear it. So just give me a minute. You know, people people tell you anything in a closed environment. They say all kind of stuff when they're behind your back. Get them in your face, then they get tight-tongued. Let's see here. So I want to get to Alan West.
Welcome back to Hannity. Now, over the weekend, outspoken comedian Bill Cosby authored a controversial opinion piece in the New York Post about the flaws of American communities today. And the former star of the Cosby Show is raising eyebrows for the op-ed in which he says we should all be more like Muslims. He wrote, quote, "I'm a Christian, that Muslims are misunderstood, intentionally misunderstood. We should all be more like them. They make sense, especially with their children. There's no other group like the Black Muslims who put so much effort into teaching children the right things. They don't smoke, they don't drink or overindulge in alcohol. They protect their women, they command respect. And what do these other people do? They complain about them. They criticize them. We'd be a better world if we emulated them." And needless to say, many people found his words troubling. And my next guest took to Twitter to express his disagreement with Cosby. Former Congressman Alan West tweeted, quote, "Today in the New York Post, Bill Cosby said we should be more like Muslims. You mean honor killings, beheadings, suicide bombings? Hope you're kidding, sir." Joining me now, former Florida Congressman and director of NextGeneration.tv, Fox News contributor Colonel Alan West. Sir, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me on, Shawnee. How are you?
I was surprised by his comments. Tell me why you felt the need to respond.
Well, I think it's very important because we cannot allow people that are influential in our country, especially in the entertainment industry, to start putting out false information. I give you a great example today, as reported from Reuters and the Washington Times. Syrian Islamists kidnapped, tortured, and then executed a 15-year-old young Syrian boy in front of his mother and father just because he, quote unquote, disrespected Muhammad.
What do that got to do with Black Muslims? Ain't no Black Muslims over there. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Yes.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum ala salam.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm in a meeting, brother. What's happening?
I'm trying to get your conference call. For the conference call, the number.
The number is 712-432.
712-432.
0075.
0075.
Yes, and the access code is 912932, and then you push the pound key.
Now, and tonight, at what time?
I'm on now, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to call now.
Okay. Now, let's play this thing back from the beginning and see the hypocrisy and the false information that's being put out here.
In the New York Post about the flaws of American communities today, and the former star of the Cosby Show, he's raising eyebrows for the op-ed in which he says we should all be more like Muslims. He wrote, quote, "I'm a Christian, but Muslims are misunderstood, intentionally misunderstood. We should all be more like them. They make sense, especially with their children. There's no other group like the Black Muslims who put so much effort into teaching children the right things. They don't smoke, they don't drink or overindulge in alcohol. They protect their women, they command respect. And what do these other people do? They complain about them, they criticize them. We'd be a better world if we emulated them." And needless to say, many people found his words troubling, and my next guest took to Twitter to express his disagreement with Cosby. Former Congressman Alan West tweeted, quote, "Today in the New York Post, Bill Cosby said we should be more like Muslims. You mean honor killings, beheadings, suicide bombings? Hope you're kidding, sir." Joining me now, former Florida Congressman and director of Next Generation.TV, Fox News contributor, Colonel Alan West. Sir, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me on, Sean. How are you?
I was surprised by his comments. Tell me why you felt the need to respond.
Well, I think it's very important because we cannot allow people that are influential in our country, especially in the entertainment industry, to start putting out false information. I give you a great example today, as reported from Reuters and the Washington Times. Syrian Islamists kidnapped, tortured, and then executed a 15-year-old young Syrian boy in front of his mother and father just because he, quote unquote, disrespected Muhammad by saying that he did not want to be a believer. And we know that if you choose not to be a believer, that's apostasy, and he was killed. You know, those are not the type of things that are in keeping with Western civilization values. How Black Muslims.
Have you noticed that everything he just said was just outright lies? How many times have you heard me having a discussion with somebody who's not a Muslim? It's all online. You can just go there and just, I had a matter of fact, I just interviewed the brother from the Undisputed Truth, Mr. Harris. I interviewed Melba Moore. Did I insult them because they weren't Muslims? Did I threaten them? Did I refuse to have any conversation with anybody just because? I talked to the Ku Klux Klan. Why he get out there and say that? Because they get out there and tell them what to. That's what that's about. He following orders. Sitting up there suggesting that we can't let entertainers and people of influence put out misinformation. That's what he's trying to do now. That's all the devil can do. Is when you accuse him. You notice when if a so-called Negro accuse white folks of racism, they call him a racist. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, he playing the race card. You're the racist. Who said anything about race? How come he don't come in here and pull that on me? He taught them. He taught this man. That's why he don't mind having conversation with him, because he know that man half scared of him to start with. And I'm being kind saying half scared of him. Well, it's the truth. Otherwise, why would he come out and attack the Black Muslims when all we've done in this country since they've known us is help Black people? They even try to say, well, y'all killed Malcolm. Who gave you Malcolm? Who gave you Malcolm? Malcolm came from the Black Muslims. And we did not kill him. And they know it. White people know that. The government knows that. But hey, you run around here talking about you black and proud. The black Muslim gave you that. Who was calling you black before anybody? And telling you you should be black and proud of that. You got that teaching from the same man who taught Malcolm, who taught Farrakhan, who taught me, who taught all of those who run around here now that some of you look up to or whatnot. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. The black Muslims. It's mighty strange if he don't like what the black Muslims teach, why he don't call himself a Negro then? Why don't he just say, I'm still Negro? I don't believe in that stuff. You know why he say he black now? The white man said it's okay. I was saying I was black before the white man okayed it. Once I decided I was black, I didn't care what the white man thought. Why should I trust him to tell me anything about me when he the one messed me up in the first place? He listening now. Why don't he say I'm teaching hate? Kind of hard to tell a room full of enlightened people. But most people that come in here now and listen to me, they got some enlightenment in their head. You can't come in here and tell people that I'm racist and I'm teaching racism. They say, oh man, get out of here. You're just mad because the truth is getting on your toes. If you didn't want me to tell it, you shouldn't have did it. Huh? No sense in there. It's just like you go rob a bank and get mad because the police come up there and arrest you and say you robbed the bank. You just don't like black people. Nigga, please. You go into jail, boy. Is that right? Well, that's all to it. Ain't no sense in calling him a racist for arresting you and you do it wrong. Huh? Now, if he accusing you of something you didn't do, now you got something to holler about. That's what, just like him. If he hadn't enslaved us, if he hadn't been our murderers, if he had not put us one against the other purposely, scientifically he did it. If he hadn't did all that, then he'd be justified to call what I'm doing, teaching it, racism. But if he guilty, then where's the racism? Where's the racism in that? Ain't no racism there. You the racist. That proves your racism. You're out here telling me that I'm black because I'm cursed. That's what they were teaching us and teaching it in the church. And bleaching cream was selling good when I was growing up. Some of y'all don't know what bleaching cream is. Bleaching cream is a skin lightener. You put it all over your face and be so happy when you see that darkness going away and you're getting lighter and lighter. Yeah. He did that to us. Now here this man on there, saying what they want to hear. Now I'm gonna back it up just a little so give him justice, because he's gonna talk about the black Muslim.
and he was killed. Type of things are in keeping with Western civilization values. And when you talk about Black Muslims, let's also remember the Nigerians who brutally and savagely attacked and beheaded the.
He know good and well Bill Cosby wasn't talking about nobody over in Nigeria. When you used to hear the term Black Muslim, ask them, did anybody think they was talking about somebody over in Nigeria or in Africa somewhere? Then why he interjecting that? What did he say? He's against misinformation. Yes. What is he doing now? Okay.
Young British soldier Lee Rigby, Rigby, I believe, and they were from Nigeria. Look up the group, the terrorist group Boko Haram, and the things that they're doing to Christians in Nigeria, the Easter attacks, the Christmas Day attacks.
What about the things that the Christians was doing to the Black man in America? And is still doing. Is you happy about it? You hurry up and get that boy in there. That's what. You call his people and you tell, and if Alan West don't accept our invitation, we gonna tell on him. I want to know what the answer is. Yes. Yeah. You tell them, and to put it to him like this, he went on Sean Hannity on Fox News, and he talked us down. If he's any kind of man, he would come in here and tell us why he did that. And even tried to condemn Dr. Bill Cosby for telling our people that they should emulate the Black Muslims. You make sure you put that, matter of fact, you can send him a little clip of where he was talking and tell him we'd like him to come in here, and we're not going to disrespect him. We're not going to curse at him and all that old kind of foolishness. But we want to have a serious conversation with him about the things that he suggested about Black Muslims. You understand? Okay.
But yet the Obama administration does not put Boko Haram on the terrorist list. And then, of course, in the United States of America, we've had a series.
It's got to do with slandering us. Now you see what he's up to. He wants to, everything is President Obama's fault, huh? Yeah, okay. Anyway, he ain't even no senator no more, is he? He got voted out of there, huh? And kissed all that behind, and still he's out of there. You know why? Because anybody that will mistreat their people and talk against their people at the behest of their people, do you honestly think that enemy would trust you? Because if they could scare you into doing it, somebody else could scare you into doing something against them. And they know that. You're just too stupid to know it.
Things that have occurred. The father that backed over his daughter in Arizona, the other father who shot his two daughters in Texas in a cab, and then in Jonesboro, Georgia, father who strangled his young daughter. So I don't think that's very keeping with the right type of family values that we endear here in the United States of America and Western civilization.
I'm really disturbed by his comments.
Oh, family values. We got shooting after shooting of Black children. And he talking about America's family values. Huh? That's rich, ain't it? Family values. Got a Congress full of people who upset because the President of the United States wanted some health care for the American people that they could afford and that they wouldn't have to be becoming bankrupt just because one of their family members got sick or whatnot. Huh? He talks about family values. Huh? Let's listen.
About how they protect their women. How do you view women as being treated in Muslim countries?
Well, it's very simple.
They ain't had nothing with these people overseas. Dr. Cosby talking about how the women in the black Muslims is treated. Huh? If you don't believe we respect them and protect them, you put your hands on one of them. You'll find out. So I know they ain't bothering you, and you better not bother them. And they know I ain't just talking. We protect our women. We protect our children. And when we was trusting in them, did they protect us? Did they protect our women and babies? Or was they the ones who was murdering them and raping them? And Sean Hannity asking him what he think about it. Huh? What is that? And well, boss, I think, let's hear what he think.
When you understand that in the Quran, you are, sanctioned to beat your wife, but having been over in the middle.
What chapter in the Holy Quran sanctions beating your wife? Let me look this up. I ain't never seen that. I really haven't. You read that in there? Y'all better get ready. Just a minute there. Hey, you can beat her? Let's see here. I'm gonna look up beat in the Quran or wherever it's at. Let me see here. I keep hearing these people talk about the Quran says you can beat the woman. I ain't never read that. Let's see. You ain't got but two places in there that it says. It says, forbidden to you, this is chapter 5, verse 3. Forbidden to you is that which dies of itself, blood and flesh of swine, and that on which any other name than that of Allah has been invoked, and the strangled animal, and that beaten to death, and that killed by a fall, and that killed by goring with the horn, and that which wild beasts have eaten, except what you slaughter, and that which is sacrificed on stones set up for idols, and that you seek to divide by arrows. That is a transgression. This day have those who disbelieve despaired of your religion. So fear them not, and fear. This day have I perfected for you your religion, and completed my favor to you, and chosen for you Islam as a religion. But whoever is compelled by hunger, not inclining willfully to sin, then surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. That was chapter 5, verse 3, with the word beaten in that. And wherever the word beat come up, even if it's beaten or beating, that kind of thing. Now, in chapter 20, at verse 18, it says, he said, this is my staff. I lean on it, and I beat the leaves with it for my sheep. And I have other uses for it. And that's it. There ain't nowhere where you beat the woman. I better get you beaten up on ours. Now, I understand this. The world you came out of, Christians beat their women all up and down the street. pimp them, and do some of everything to them. But we don't tolerate that. And because some of you come out of a world where that takes place and you try that here, I warned you, don't do that. I ain't gonna warn you too many times. I'm telling you, you keep your hands to yourself. When I was growing up, some of my older brothers, you know, my daddy didn't believe in hitting on no women. And, you know, most of the men around the neighborhood, they just didn't believe in that. And they used to say, if I got to beat you, I don't need you. You see? And that is the truth. You know, the problem lies within trying to marry someone who does not believe as you believe. What you need to do is don't be unequally yoked with non-believers. Then you won't be getting in fights with each other, throwing blows at each other. Be beating up on no woman. Where they getting that from? Y'all find anything similar to that? Where's that? A version of the Quran that says that. Which one? Let's go to chapter 4. Let's go to chapter 4 and verse 34. Let me see what Maulana says. Chapter 4 and verse 34. That's all right. I'm going to see what it says in this one. You know, they got all these different Qurans they done put out here. They 4 and 34. Now it says, this is of the tidings of things. Does yours start off like that? Huh? Just a moment. No, just a moment. No, I'm looking in the wrong chapter here. 4 and 34. Let's see what it's got to say here. It says, men are the maintainers of women with what Allah, is that it? Okay, with what Allah has made some of them to excel others, and with what they spend out of their wealth. So the good women are obedient, guarding the unseen, as Allah has guarded. And as to those on whose part you fear desertion, admonish them. Don't say nothing about beating them. Like I say, you ain't gonna beat up on my daughters. And you ain't gonna beat up on my sister. And you ain't gonna beat up on my mama. Even when I was a little boy and saw my daddy fussing at my mother, I used to be standing there saying, you better not hit my mama. I had sense enough to know that I ain't got no business letting no man beat up on my mama. And my daddy taught me that. Brother, it's unmanly. Every time you slap a woman around or beat up on a woman, you lose just a little bit of your manhood. And when you have to face a man, you're going to find out that you done lost your nerve, man. Because you used to beating up on somebody who can't really fight back. So if you're doing it, brother, stop. The Holy Quran don't say nothing about beating on no woman. It says admonish them and leave them alone in the beds and chastise them. What is that to say? I mean, that's how you chastising them. But when you reading the book and don't understand it, you think, see, it's saying chastise them. it just told you what the chastisement is. Admonish them and don't sleep with them. But what? Well, you just want to hit somebody. Well, what happened when you hit her and she hit you back? The black woman hit you back. Well, that's the truth. You remember my daddy said you first? Well, them girls hit me first. Shoot. so she'll hit you back, man. And then make you hurt her. Because that ain't no fight. You can holler all you want. A woman and you fighting each other, that's not a fight. That's brutality. And you need to cut that out. You know. When last time you've been walking down the street, brother, and saw a crowd of girls or a crowd of women and wasn't nothing but you and you got scared? When? You got happy. I don't know what you're talking about, but you see a crowd of brothers standing around there, you might think about going the other way. Is that right? Especially if it's the project. So if you see a group of women standing around, that don't frighten you. Why? Because not even in the nature of a man to be afraid of a woman. How many of y'all scared of women? You'd be ashamed to admit it if you was. It's the truth. I don't mean you scared of no woman. You ain't got no business fighting no woman. Keep your hands off of anybody that's grown. You whip children. You don't whip grown people. Am I clear? Yes, sir. So the devil, he don't want you to whip the children so he can justify beating them after they get grown. Because if you raise them right and put something on them right when they're little, they'll grow up to be decent human beings, will demand respect rather than, and demand respect means you carry yourself in a way where people cannot justify doing anything to you in the way of harm. This man. Thank you, brother, for finding that for me. I wish you'd find out who wrote that one so I can tell people to throw it in the garbage. Yeah. 3 different versions. It's in Arbery's version of the Quran. In whose? Arbery's version. Arbery. Shakir's version. Shakir. And Ali's version. Ali's version. Not Maulana Muhammad Ali, not Yusuf Ali, just Ali's version. Marbury's version and Shakir's version of the Holy Quran. Throw them all in the garbage. Get him to Mr. What's that brother down there? That brother down there say he gonna burn up some Qurans. Send him some of them and tell him, here, man, I'll help you burn these. Do you understand? The Holy Quran that you should buy is the one by Maulana Muhammad Ali, Maulana, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali. Or if you can't find that one, Yusuf is a pretty good one too. That's what the messenger told us. He had one of each one. Yusuf Ali, I think they even changed Yusuf Ali from saying just God, they say Allah in there now. After the messenger said what he said about that. Because he said that he had one by Yusuf Ali and Maulana Muhammad Ali. He said, but he was partial to the Maulana Ali version because it calls God by the name Allah. And it don't just say God. It says Allah. He said, I love to read the Holy Quran, saying Allah and teaching me Allah. And I want to give Allah all the credit that we can give him. And so in the Arabic language, if you translate the name Allah, they will say the God, you know. And even in the Bible, it does not say Allah. It says the God or the Spirit. And but his name is actually Allah. That is the name of God, not just the title. It is his name. And it means he's all and in all. You see, he's all that was in Moses. He's all that was in Jeremiah. Everything that was in all of them, all of it was the truth. He's all and in all. Do you understand? All praise is due to Allah. Yes. And in Dawood's version too. I mean, they got a lot of versions trying to justify what they've been doing to women. Huh? Just like the poor little, what's her name, Malala? Shot the poor girl for being in school. And you want to link me with them people? No, you're not going to link us in with that. They don't even link us in with them. They say we don't have Islam. Why don't they say that? Because now what they got, you condemns. So when they say we don't have what they got, you don't want to hear that. Yeah. I told you I speak for us. I speak for the Muslims. And all that stuff you talk about ain't nothing. The real Muslims, you're listening to them now. I speak for all of the Muslims. Any of you all that claim to be Muslim and say I don't speak for you, unmute your phone and tell the people. I know they're scared. They ain't fooling nobody. That's the only reason they don't come in here is because they're scared. Not scared of this flesh. They're scared of the mind that's in this flesh. Because they know they can't win. Sitting up there. I done told them all their religions is a lie. And ain't nobody saying nothing. You know why they don't take me long to prove it's a lie? I'll just say, show it to me in the Bible. Show me your religion in the Holy Quran. I can show you mine in there, in both books. Geno Jennings stood up there and told people his religion is holiness. And got away with it. The book says, be ye holy. That's what he said. Holiness is not the name of a religion. It is the name that it is the attribute that comes with the practice of the religion. Do you understand? Just like is the name of that which helps you to keep in good health, is the name of it wellness or is it medicine? Doctors practice wellness or do they practice medicine? And the result of them practicing medicine is what? You get well, don't you? And the result of you practicing God's religion, you become holy. Do you understand? All right. So, hey, I told you, you're not up to no discussion or argument with me. That day gone. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. You know of any other man that stand up in front of the whole world and they all keep silence? I know this offends people. Even people who would befriend me get angry with me for saying stuff like that. That's because they don't know in what the scriptures say. Opposed to, how in the world I'm going to tell you I'm the Son of Man? And then you say, well, the Son of Man is the Lord. Is that who you saying? I just told you I'm the Son of Man. I know exactly what I'm saying. And I didn't say I was the Lord. They said it. It's like you getting mad with somebody because they tell you their name. And you know good and well they didn't give themselves that name. You got your name from the people who gave birth to you. Those men called me Son of Man. You to tell me I'm not. Unmute your phone and come on and man up. Oh man, maybe I need to change my tone. I'm talking too hard for you. Unmute your phone and show me how I'm not the Son of Man. Come on. Even Royal, you know, Royal even told the people when he was talking about me, he said, it's a brother in Mississippi. He said, thinks he's the Son of Man. And the brother really believes he's the Son of Man. He knew I wasn't faking. And then he said, but I didn't send him. Tell you right, he right about that too. No, he didn't send me. So his teachings is full of error. And when I confronted him about the error in my teachings, he couldn't point out none. He said that I'm saying I'm the Son of Man. And I told him, I said, that's who I'm telling you I am. I said, that's not what I'm teaching. What is the error in my teachings? He didn't even understand really that. That's why he couldn't answer, because he didn't know, he had never thought about the fact that if a person introduces themselves by a certain name or title, Master Farad Muhammad was Allah in person, and he told them his name was Professor Ford. That's what one of the names he went by. He also, when he came in, he signed his name W.D. Farad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad signed his name before as Ronald J. Bogus. A man can call himself whatever he wants when he understands that he's a man. You know, I mean, he can call himself by whatever, also known as. But that ain't got nothing to do with what he teaches. That's just his designation for himself. What's your real name? That's the way a slave talk. A slave asks you that kind of stuff. Because my master called me Toby. What did the master call you? What the master called you? I ain't thinking about these people. You notice, don't nobody coming up to me asking me what's your real name. I mean, Negro, please. My name is whatever I decide I want it to be for the day. Now what? I mean, when you know what you know, I mean, really, man, you know, I mean, I'm free. Soon to be free indeed. Before you can become free indeed, you must free your mind. Once the mind is free, the body follows. You understand? You know, it's just like Dr. Cosby. He a lot closer to freedom than most of the people in that world, because he didn't fear to say how he felt. There's a lot of them that knew. There's a lot of our people in Congress and other places that know that the Muslims is the ones that got the right understanding. Scared to say it. They mad at Dr. Cosby because he ain't scared to say it. And you think I'm gonna just leave him out there for the wolves to bite at him from all sides? No, I'm not. No, sir. And I don't want you to do it. Speak up for him. And when people, let me read to you. This is from Raven Simone. And listen to what it says. Raven Simone defends TV dad Bill Cosby after rape allegations. Bill Cosby was once America's favorite TV dad. He still is. You ain't proved nothing on that man. You just got a lot of a prostitute, a former prostitute. I don't know if she's still prostituting or not, but they did arrest her for prostitution. The number one witness. And then you got one that said that when Miss Goldberg, Whoopi Goldberg, asked her, so he didn't rape you. I don't believe he did. She said, you don't know? You out here sullying this man's reputation. On what? You see, ain't none of them got nothing to say now, right? Okay. So it says, but after shocking rape allegations, excuse me, but isn't an allegation something that you report to the police? Huh? And then you become an alleged, you know, it's not an allegation until you report it to the authority. And the DA decides whether or not those charges or allegations are founded in some fact and brings charges, right? Were any charges brought against Dr. Cosby? Then what is this? Allegations of it. Why don't they call it what it is? Gossip. Because ain't no official law enforcement agency accused him of anything. Kind of hard to accuse people of something when you don't have no evidence, ain't it? You can get sued for false accusations, false arrests, because if you didn't have nothing to base it on, what you arrest the man for? Okay. Says allegations from more than 10 women. Faith in the comedian has started to diminish. Well, that's what it's all about. Bring out some more. We getting him. Huh? And you know how the ignorant think. Man, all them people ain't gonna lie on you. Yeah. The whole country was lying on the Muslims. You just saw some people lying on the Muslims right just there. And if they lie on the Muslims, what about those who try to say something good about us? You think they immune to being lied about? Huh? I mean, they wanted, to show you how crazy it is. They want to tell us we can't call another black man Uncle Tom. What did that woman say to Congressman Thompson? That's a racist statement. To show you, she don't know what a racist statement is. You know why she said it like that? Because she couldn't say you must don't like white people if you mad because somebody else do whatever for us against you. Well, that's what Uncle Tom is. He's somebody that don't mind hurting his own people as long as he get a pat on the back from white folks. Huh? And well, if a white person calls a black person Uncle Tom, the more she talked, the more foolish she sounded. See what happens when you attack somebody who come in here talking to me? You ain't gonna frighten nobody away from me. The more they hear me, the less frightened they are of you. You really want to scam? Shoot me down. That'll scam. It says the worst allegation of all is that he molested Raven Simone when she was just a child on the show. And here's what Raven herself has to say about it. Bill Cosby, 77, has been accused of drugging and raping several women, including supermodel Janice Dickinson. But Raven Simone, now 28, says that she was not one of these women, and putting an explanation point behind it. She was just 4 years old when she starred in the sitcom, and she released a fiery statement defending her former TV dad. Check out what Raven had to say below. Raven Simone defends Bill Cosby after rape allegations. It's so unfortunate that Raven's name would be dragged into Bill's rape allegations scandal. Raven posted a picture to Instagram of her playing the sassy young Olivia on the show, and a caption stating that she was never taken advantage of. I was not taken advantage of by Mr. Cosby when I was on the Cosby Show. I was practically a baby on that show, and this is truly a disgusting rumor that I want no part of. Everyone on that show treated me with nothing but kindness. Now, keep me out of this. Huh? Yeah. My name is Wes, and I ain't in your mess. She didn't say that, I said it. You know how we got a saying on that. Is now Raven Simone, she says, I, quote unquote, I was not taken advantage of. Raven is the first to speak out in defense of Bill Cosby during all the unfortunate allegations. You know, when the people who pay your check and write your checks decide they want to go after somebody, if you want to keep that check coming, you better be quiet, unless you're going to help them. You understand? You know how it go. You know the game. How come ain't none of the rest of them saying nothing? Because they still want to get their money. They ain't saying nothing against him. I guess they don't want it that bad. But why jeopardize their job when people going to eventually wise up? You know, when you got over 20, or how many women is it now? Almost 30, 28 of them now. And you mean that none of them get no samples or no get checked? None of them got no report to the police? And did all of them say that their agents sent them by there? That's how they first started seeing him? Quite a few of them? How come they ain't suing the agent too? Because he must have been in on it. And when tell me something, if your agent sent you someplace and it turned out that somebody drugged and raped you, who would be the first one you would be telling? Or would you be scared to tell him? You see how all of them lies, just the more you check it out, the less sense it makes. Huh? But you know, they call themselves what you call defaming his character, so that when he tell you what you should do, what? You won't listen because I ain't gonna listen to that nigga. That man's a rapist. He ain't got nothing to tell me. Right? Is that right? When he ain't never been accused of, he ain't never been convicted of any of that stuff. You want to know another thing about how you know that death is? You see how calm and collected his wife is about all that foolishness. I mean, she could get a killing in a divorce, right? She love her husband, and she know he ain't that. And she know the game they pull. She know why. These same people murdered their son. The same type. You don't never run with things that your enemy bring you. Here, Sean Hannity got this man sitting up here, and he don't have no better sense than to let them use him like that. What you think of it? What you think? What do he know about it first? You remember when they tried to cut that clip out with me talking with Congressman Thompson? And he called Clarence Thomas. They tried to cut out the part where I laughed. Left it right there. And then started calling themselves beating up on Congressman Thompson. And he didn't back up. He told me, yeah, I said it. You know, that's what he is. And then when they try to get another Uncle Tom to try to write something about it, he gonna talk about every black man at some time or another is called Uncle Tom. I don't know where he been. You can't fix your mouth to call me no Uncle Tom. And none of the other brothers, I know whole brothers ain't never been called no Uncle Tom. Do you understand? You know, man, look. You know, I've seen brothers that bust you in your mouth for even suggesting that they was a Tom. Say, what did you say, nigga? And he bust you in your mouth. So it don't, you know, you can tell when people done grew up around white folks, they develop white people's way of thinking. You know, and he all the time. Uncle Tom's hang with Uncle Tom's. What you expect? See, even they laughing because he wish he had never said that. Because I mean, what? That's like somebody playing hockey. How many of y'all watch hockey? But you go around somebody who watch hockey, and yeah, they will you ask them, well, who is that? Oh man, everybody knows so and so. What you mean? Well, I don't. Where you been at? I don't hang out in your world. I remember this little joke that fit that. It's a beatnik there were two wino, and they was looked up and said, sun pretty bright today. And Donald said, man, that ain't the sun. That's the moon. And he said, well, let's ask this fella here. He said, he's a beatnik. And he said, hey man, is that the sun or the moon? And the beatnik looked at him and said, like, I don't know, man. I don't live in this neighborhood. So, you know, that's the way it is with this world. You only know what's going on in the world that you're involved in. Most people do. And it's very unintelligent to try to talk about a world that you're not familiar with. Do you understand? To be asked about the black Muslim when you don't know nothing about us, best thing for you to do is just be quiet and say, I'm not familiar with them. I don't know exactly what they stand for. But to just come out, trot out there and start talking about some people over in Nigeria somewhere and talking about them as black Muslims, that's not what Dr. Cosby was referring to. Dr. Cosby was referring to the black man here in America that accepted the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and referred to as the black Muslims. You understand? You notice, ain't nobody coming in here offering me no correction. Yeah, people say, you think you know everything. No, I don't think I know everything. I just got sense enough not to be talking about things that I don't know. That's why they shut their mouth at me. So, now, I was also, y'all satisfied now that God is man? All right, then. Anybody that says not. You know, I ain't gonna be the head of man if he ain't man. Man is the head of woman. She's man. She's the weaker part of man, but she's man. You don't believe it? Spell her name. W-O what? M-A-N. And she can be just that if you don't get your head on straight. Whoa, man. Yeah. So now let's get to let's get to this other thing that I was reminded about that somebody didn't remember I had taught on about living in a hellhole. What makes you live in hell is that you don't seek understanding. Your misunderstanding is what's got you in hell. Whenever you in a bad situation and don't seem to get out of it, it's because you don't have understanding of how to get out of it. So you stay in it until you get understanding of how to get out of it. So I have the keys of hell and of death. I'm unlocking it and letting you out now. Can't you see you making progress since you've been with me? All right then. We ain't worried about being stuck in poverty, are we? No, sir. We coming on up. Huh? Sure as I tell you. Let's remember that. All of you that's tired of being down, I want you to listen to me. I don't care what color you are. Listen to me. I'll help you get up. Don't want nobody to be able to trick you into staying down anymore, making you think you are some kind of way inferior. The only thing that makes one being inferior to the other is the knowledge that's in their head. Am I clear? It's time for us to start looking at each other as the human family of the planet Earth. And it takes the father and mother of the family to pull the family together and keep them together. So, fell asleep, but the father has now awakened. So it's time now to get everything straight. Okay? All right. See how we done put a stop to the people accusing us of teaching racism? You see how we done put a stop to people saying, accused of lying, saying, well, they don't call me no lie. You know why? Because they had to come in here and tell me, prove then what you said. And they know I can prove it. So you can't call a man a lie when he got proof of what he's saying. And make white people bear me witness. They ain't got to. Hey, let him come in here. I'll have him bear me witness. Just like the Klan, when he came in here, he thanked me for bringing them out of the caves. Okay, if in a joking way, but he didn't ever try to say they wasn't in the cave and that we didn't bring them out. Because if you were smart enough to bring yourself out of there, you'd never been in there in the first place. Huh? Huh? All right. So who brought you out? We did. You know, we taught him how to put us in this condition. We gave him permission to do this. Maybe in fact, gave him orders to do it. And we told him how long that he'd be able to hold us. Said 400 years. Huh? And also the nation that we serve will I judge. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. Yes, sir. It's time for us to come out now. Dr. Cosby told you, if you're going to emulate something, you should be emulating the Muslims. Huh? He can speak with authority on that. He's been in that world and he's watched our world. He watched the Muslims and he's watched the Christians. And he told them they need to try to copy the Muslims. Get mad all you want. The man told you the truth. So sitting up out there mad because somebody care about you. You hate the ones who care about you and love them who could give less than a damn about you. Think because somebody want to use you that they care for you? When people care for you, they be trying to do for you more so than trying to get you to do for them. Let me let you go before you start fussing and cussing. Let me let you get out of here. It's dog out there now, so we could eat. So, and those of you who sick, if you're not well, don't be trying to do no Ramadan. I don't mind doing traditional things, but I don't worship traditions. If you're not well, then you need to be eating and drinking when you need to eat and drink. Sun up, sun down don't make no difference. Am I clear? All right. We're not fanatics. Walking around here thinking that being a Muslim, it simply means you pray 5 times a day, or you fast, or you that. That's fine. But are you a righteous person? Do you believe in justice? Do you believe in treating people like you would like to be treated? If you don't believe in that, I don't care how many times you can pray all day, every day, and it don't mean nothing. So, religion is not a tradition, it's a way of life. You understand? It's the way of peace, the way of life that leads you to perfect peace within and without. May Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's peace be unto you all.